Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sławomir Nowakowski. I am a Senior Support Technical Engineer at Open-E. And today I'd like to show you how to configure the DSS monitoring using the Nagios and Checkmk tool. We will use the API that is built in DSS V7 as well as V6. And today's webinar topic contains additional information, how to install and configure the OMD, also how to apply the small update to Open-E DSS V7. Also I will show you how to enable the API, and at the end I'd like to show you some performance graphs from the DSS using the Nagios and Checkmk tool. During the webinar, the voice has been muted for you. In case you have any questions, please use the chat box that can be found in the panel of the NetViewer, and during some breaks I will try to answer your questions. At the beginning, we have to have a fresh install of the Linux system, and this webinar I am using the Ubuntu server 12.04. I have the SSH connection to the server already established. I also did the full update of the system after the fresh install. In order to do so, you have to put following command. It's apt-get update, and after downloading or new repositories from the Ubuntu repositories site, you can do the apt-get upgrade, and all packages that are in your Ubuntu distribution will be upgraded. Also, after that, you can make apt-get dist-upgrade. This will upgrade your kernel that is inside the Ubuntu server, because standard apt-get upgrade does not upgrade the kernel. After that, we have the fresh install of the DSS with all packages that are up to date. And now we can go to OMD's website. It's omdistro.org, and where we can find additional information how to install the OMD package to our system, due to fact it is not in standard Ubuntu repositories. When we go to omdistro.org website, we need to go to the download website, and we will use the package repositories site. After clicking on that, we have a how-to describing us how to add this to our server. As you can see, the how-to is about Debian, Ubuntu, CentOS, Red Hat, and SUSE Linux Enterprise. In my case, I'm using the Ubuntu Precise. So as the first steps, I need to add those two keys to my Ubuntu server. So just copy and paste those commands. In my case, I did it already before, because installing all the OMD packages takes some time. So I would like to show you just the most important steps. So we are applying those two commands. Then after that, we have to add the sources to our repositories lists. We have to find our distribution. In my case, it is Ubuntu Precise. So running this command will add proper repositories for my Ubuntu. After it is done, we need to again run the apt-get update command. It will refresh our information about repositories, and after it has been completed, we can install the OMD. So we have to put the command apt-get install OMD 0.56. This is the latest one that can be downloaded. I already installed this too, because there are many dependencies and installing takes up to 20 minutes depending on the connection speed. So in order to make the webinar shorter, I already configured it before. After our OMD repository has been installed to our Linux system, we can go to the DSS web page, and we have to configure some additional services as well as install the proper small update. After logging to the DSS web GUI, we go to the maintenance software update. And in the system software update tab, we have a list of installed system. In my case, it's the latest version of DSS V7. And here I can choose in the browse button which small update would I like to install. Small update is a special update made by support of Open-E that extends some functionality of DSS as well as bug fixes some possible bugs. After selecting the proper small update with browse button, I have already applied here. It's small update number 70139. We need to apply it to the DSS and make upload. In my case, the small update is also installed already, as installing small update to DSS requires a reboot. So after uploading it, we have a checkbox to apply, and after that we have to reboot the system. After the small update has been installed and system has been rebooted, we can see the small update or installed small update here. As you can see, in my case, it has been already installed. In case we would like to remove the small update, we can use the trash button, and it will remove the small update. Important information is that removing the small update also requires a reboot for the changes to take effect. After the small update has been installed, we need to also enable the API in our DSS. It is possible in setup administrator settings, and at the bottom of the site we have a CLI API configuration tab. We need to select the checkbox, and the default port we can choose 2223, and we need to specify a password. I will specify just simple password. It will be 12345. After all is done, we have to apply, and right now our API service is enabled. We also need the SSH key in order to not put the password each time. So I will use the generate and download button. This will generate the SSH key that I can download to my desktop. I will save it as DSS 60 key. The key has been saved to my desktop. Now I have to download the key to my Ubuntu server system. So I will use the DSS share to upload it there and then download from the my Ubuntu server. So we need the NAS volume that can be created in configuration volume manager. And when we go to the default VG00, we can create the logical volume. I have already created the NAS logical volume. It's 10 GB size. The NAS logical volume can be created here. Just select action, new, and select desired size, and click apply. After the volume has been created, we need to enable some additional services. Due to fact my DSS has no Samba client, I will use NFS. So I have to enable NFS in NFS settings, which has been already done. After creation of the share, which can be done in NAS resources, here and clicking with apply button, we have to specify what services should be available for our share. In my case, I'm using SMB with guest access, so anyone without password can access, as well as NFS access with default settings. Now I can connect to the already created share using the DSS IP, and if I will go here, I may now copy the SSH key to my share. My share has been already copied to the DSS share. So now I have to mount the NFS share from my Ubuntu server. In order to do so, I need to have the mount point. So I will create the folder which will be used for mount NFS share. I will use mkdir command for that. As in this case, the folder has been already created, so now I have to mount the share. I will use mount command .t and NFS, now IP of DSS, share name is test, and now I have to put the mount point. As you can see, the share has been mounted successfully. In case you will get error that file system is not supported, it means that there is no NFS client shared libraries installed. So in this case, you need to install the apt-get and install NFS common package. This command will install required libraries to be able to mount the NFS share. Now I need to go to my share, and as you can see, here you can find the SSH key I uploaded from Windows system. I need to put it somewhere to my system, so I will put it here, which already has been done. I can overwrite the file, and the key has been overridden, and it's in the OMD folder. After the key has been installed, I need to make some configuration of the OMD service in my DSS. So at the first step, I need to create my site. I will use the DSS monitor name. So I have to put the following command: OMD create DSS monitor. This will be my username I will use for OMD. The command takes some time to generate all required files. And after it is done, we can start the OMD with command OMD start. As you can see, all dependent services run with OK status, so at this stage all is fine. Now we have to configure our OMD to be able to connect to our DSS. In order to do so, I have to edit the file that can be found in opt omd sites, and now my site I have created is DSS monitor, and next etc check _k, and the file I need to edit is main.mk. The file has been created with all default settings, so I need to put some information to be able to monitor the DSS. So in all hosts, I have to put information about IP and service that will be used for monitoring. In my case, this is the IP server of DSS. It's the 192.168.232.60. After the pipe, I need to specify the protocol that will be used. We'll use the SSH. And after that, we have to also specify some additional settings. For this, we use the switch data source programs. Which should have following entries. Now, inside of the data source programs, we need to specify the command that will be used for connecting to the API. So it will be SSH -p. We need to specify the port. So this is the default port 2223. Underline E, we need to specify path to our key. In this case, it was OMD DSS 60.key. -L, we need to specify username. For API, the username is API. Now we need to specify the IP address again. And the command that will be run over API to DSS. The proper command is check _mk _agent. Now we need to specify some additional settings like what protocol will be used. It will be SSH. Also, we need to put information for Checkmk tool in which section it should be shown. So in this case, it will be all hosts. After the file has been modified and everything is done properly, we need to save changes. What is also important is the proper permission for the SSHK we put in the OMD folder. The owner of the file should be our user, which is our project name for OMD. It is DSS monitor, as well as proper permission, access permission. The best if only this user has read and execute permissions, and other users have no permissions. So in order to do so, we can use two commands. One is chown, stands for change owner, and our owner will be DSS monitor, and we need to put a path for the file we want to change. And we can change mode, so change access permissions. I will put 500, which means read and execute for owner, 0 for group owners, and 0 for others. 0 means no permissions. After it is done, I can log to the OMD as a user. I choose my project name, so I can use the su command, stands for switch user, and make. As you can see, now I'm logged as a DSS monitor user, and as a test, I can run the API command and check if it is working properly. So I'm putting again the same informations. OMD path to the key, username, I will be using its API, IP address of DSS, and command. It asks if the key is correct, so I need to select yes. As you can see, the command returns some output. This is good because those output will be identified by our OMD service and will show some graphs and additional information in a human readable format. After everything is okay, I need to run two commands. One is check _mk and -e. This command will find available services on the DSS and will list all the available services. As you can see, the command returns some output that it could found some services that can be understood by the OMD services. If all is fine with those commands, we need to put another one. It's checkmk -o. This command restarts our configuration and validates it, and if all is okay, you should see okay that for all services. Now everything has been configured on our DSS and our Ubuntu server. We have to use the web browser in order to check output from our DSS. We need to use the IP of our Ubuntu server. I may check it very easily with ifconfig. It's this IP. And after the slash, I need to add my project name. It's DSS. You will be asked for a username and password. The default one is OMD admin. It's for the username, and the default password is OMD. Now I will choose the checkmk multi-site. This is the most suitable for DSS with the check command. And have to choose the host from the Fuse tab which I want to monitor. So here I have my DSS that has been already monitoring, and as you can see here we can find some information about DSS. From the beginning it's the checkmk agent version. Another one is the CPU load, which shows the system load. Another one is the CPU utilization, that shows the usage of the CPU. Disk IO summary is still pending, but it will be refreshed after a while. Also I have some information about usage of our NAS volume that has been already created. Also some information about NIC network cards, what is the current speed and so on. Some kernel informations rather used for developers, memory utilization by DSS, if everything is mounted properly. Also how many threads are in the DSS, how many TCP connections are established, and uptime, so how long our DSS is running. As you can see, I have here the NAS volume that is almost empty. There is only the small SSH key. So I'll try to upload some file there, and we will check if the space will be used. I have an ISO of DSS, so I will just copy it to my share. The services are being refreshed every 20 seconds, so we need to wait a bit. And we should see that over the interface ETH3 there are some data that has been sent. Also, as you can see, my ETH interface throughput was about 5 megabytes per second. And also on my NAS volume, some space has been used. In future, the small update should be implemented in future versions, releases of DSS, as well as we plan to add some more services, monitoring services. There should also appear some information about write controller, write disks used in write controller, and so on. At the beginning, I think we should have Adaptec, LSI, Fluer, and Areca controllers available, but in the future there should be more. Okay, thank you very much. I can see that there are no questions from your side, so thank you very much for your attention. I'd like to invite you for our next webinars that the schedule can be found on our website. And see you soon. Bye. I have a question from Shanafer 2B. He asked if it will be available for DSS V6. We can prepare a small update. Just send an email to our support. You can use our pre-sales account as well. If you have a registered DSS V6 product, you can use our web form that can be found at Open-E -e.com. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.